With Peachorama in full swing, we asked Chef Jason Wilson of the Lakehouse restaurant and peach lover to share a recipe using the juicy fruit. And before we got started, he said there is one thing that is blasphemy in his mind. Tell us.
Cooking a peach.
Cooking a peach.
Cooking a peach. These fruits, I mean, the peaches are like the, I don't know, the quintessential, like it's summer. When you smell them, you eat them. Yeah, and having them raw, I think for me anyways, is like that's part of being in the moment.
I agree.
You know, we all think about like, oh, let's do some yoga or meditation to get in the moment. Just eat a peach.
I agree with you.
You're here in summer.
Eat a peach, and I'll tell you this, it is like dessert. It's such a delicacy, it's such a treat. So how are you're a chef though, so that includes cooking with the peaches. So what are we making today?
It does include cooking. We're gonna do a cool little dish. So I like to look at, you know, this is such a perfect, lovely fruit. Let's do something to it that just enhances it and kind of plays with the sugar and sweetness. And so we are gonna do some brown butter.
I'm getting my apron on.
Get your apron on. We wanna make sure that you stay clean. I throw some butter in here and it's gonna smoke a little bit. So I'm gonna keep on adding more. I've got a pan on medium high.
Okay.
And we're not going to use all of this butter, but we're just going to get some of this browned up, and you can see that happens really quickly.
And you have to be really careful when browning butter because you don't want it to burn, right? If it does, then it's like, ah.
Yeah, and it can be acrid. What we're looking for here is that nice nuttiness that comes out.
So good.
And you can see it gets kind of foamy.
Yeah.
And the other piece of this is what we're looking to, I don't know, I guess create is a nutty flavor.
And you can smell it too.
You really can.
You really can smell that nuttiness when it comes out.
So I've got some peaches that I large diced or cut in large pieces here. And I'm going to use a little bit of salt and add it to the butter.
Ooh.
And we're just going to heat that butter up and get it kind of ready to go. Simultaneously, I've got some bacon in this pan.
Okay.
Now, bacon's one of those things some people like a lot, some people a little.
Yeah.
I think
just a lot of bacon's okay with me.
Yeah. So what we're doing here is having a little bit of smokiness and that sweet kind of hickory maple brown sugar that comes from the bacon. Oh my
gosh. I love how all the flavors like seem to perfectly go together.
That's the hope.
Right. That's the hope.
That's the hope.
Cooking.
That's what we want. So we've got the butter nice and browned here.
Okay.
Now we're going to just toss it in real fast.
Oh, yum.
In the peaches. And a little trick here that we like to do in the restaurant, they call it palais. We're just kind of basting this brown butter and the peaches over together here.
Ooh, palais. Right? I like learning a new cooking term.
Yeah. So it's a fun way to kind of, you see how they glisten now?
Oh, yes. And then you just added basil, too?
Throwing some basil in because that sweet licoricey flavor is going to be really delicious. And that's going to work really well with what we're going to serve the bacon with, which is scallops.
And so you just kind of, it doesn't take but a minute to do those peaches once the butter is browned.
But a minute. It's really quick. And simultaneously, I've got the scallops on deck, and there's a pan here nice and hot. I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil.
Okay. Not butter, because that would burn them.
Not butter, and you'll see why. I think because we have a little bit of that brown butter left over, and these scallops may spurt a little bit.
Okay, that's why I got my apron on.
That's right.
I've burned enough of my coworkers to know.
That's why I'm wearing sleeves down today.
Smart. Oh, these are beautiful scallops. Where do you get your scallops?
So these are Maine scallops, or scallops from Maine. We get them imported. We talked about peaches. You know, a lot of the stores in the area have great peaches right now. Met Market has Peachorama.
They do have some beautiful peaches.
We buy cases for the house. And scallops can come from in your local supermarket too.
I will say, you know, every time I go into Met Market and I see the prices, I'm like, oh, I know, it's hard to see. But the produce is pretty superior when you make sure you're paying for it, whether it's at the market or at Pike Market.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, we have to think that old adage, you get what you pay for.
That's true.
And in this instance, we definitely get the Washington peaches from the east side, up in the Cascades even, these sweet, beautiful things.
Does the variety matter with peaches? And what if they're bruised? Because sometimes I let peaches go a little long and they get bruised.
I mean, I think all of these fruit, when you're at its peak, it's hard to not know when it's ready, right? But I think the other piece of it is, each peach has its own, I don't know, its own unique flavors to it as well. Early on, I like the Saturn peaches, but classically, I look at the yellow as like, this is the standard bearer.
Standard, okay.
Yeah.
And if they're bruised,
yeah.
you don't want to put them in something pretty like a salad. What is the salad, by the way?
So that's a salad that we serve at the Lakehouse. It's a real simple salad. I sent the recipe over to everybody. There's whipped chev, so fresh goat cheese, fresh sliced peaches, pistachios, and a little pistachio chimichurri.
Wait, pistachio chimichurri?
Yeah. So
I have never heard of that.
This is a little like pistachios, arugula, some chili, and it's a fun way to sauce a salad.
Oh my God.
Where the peaches are the star still, but yet you have this, unique kind of flavor balancing happening.
That is really unique. I've never had a pistachio chimichurri.
Thank you.
It's really flavorful and has that umami flavor.
Yes.
But it's not overwhelming like a chimichurri can be.
Not too acidic.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we've got a little of this brown butter left.
Yeah, what are we gonna do with that? In
this pan here with the bacon, I've added some jalapenos, some corn. This to me is very summery.
What is that beige stuff?
The beige stuff is just a puree of corn.
Oh, okay.
So I literally just took some of the kernels and
pureed them just to kind of make it creamier?
Exactly. You can take a little bit of butter even and add it to it.
Okay.
But in this case, I'm going to add some brown butter to this.
Oh my goodness.
So, what I'm doing is just putting that foam in there.
Just the foam, okay.
Just the foam, because you have this, you can see it's all clear on one side.
Right.
Because now we're ready to go to plate. But I think the beauty here is you've got the nuttiness, the sweetness, this beautiful texture.
And you only sear the scallops on one side?
I was going to say, this is one of the most important aspects of it, for me anyways.
Okay.
I sear them on one side, and then just before we're going to serve them, we're going to flip them over.
Okay.
And the reason there is that we want to keep them, tender inside.
Right.
And we want them to be able to, really show that beautiful sweetness that'll balance so well with the peaches.
Okay.
So, let's see here.
So you put this down. Oh my gosh.
Some bacon and corn.
This looks so delicious, and it's so simple. Like, I think almost everyone has corn, bacon, and maybe not the jalapeno, but at least half of that in their pantry already.
You at least have chili flakes.
Oh, and so you could use that instead.
Exactly.
Okay.
I get the luxury of a jalapeno in the summertime, but
Yeah.
we at least have some hot chili, and that's kind of the beauty of it. Look at that scallops here.
Beautiful.
So it's really simple to do. And see if there we go. And again, one side, because what's happening is I'm putting it on this plate with this hot corn and bacon.
Right.
And the scallop's going to continue to cook so that it's basically medium.
This is what I love about this recipe is that it's so beautiful, it's so unique, but it's not unattainable. Oh, and now what do you do with the peaches that we...
Yeah, now look at this. This is so beautiful because the nectar of the peach is in this brown butter, right? So we're literally just going to walk around, spoon around, if you will.
I thought that was another technical chef term. We walk around the plate?
We walk around a little bit with the spoon, and we finish it up here. This is... So this is kind of the beauty here. If we can get you, try one of the peaches.
Okay, I'm gonna try one of the peaches.
So you can see how it is on its own. That still has that texture, but is just
that
lovely.
Flavor, but that brown butter, okay.
And then you get a little bit of scallop happening here. Yeah.
Wait, let me get some bacon in there too. I'd like to get the perfect bite. You know what?
Because they say everything's better with bacon.
It's better with bacon. I have to say, this job has taught me how to absolutely get the perfect bite. I could just get that peach in there. All right.
There it is. There it is. What a fun way of doing summer fruit.
Dude, you could come here every day. I'd be okay with that. That is beautiful.
Thank you
so much for sharing a delicious dish that I think so many people are going to be able to make.
Yeah, simple.
Simple, easy, and absolutely delicious. Jason is sharing both the scallop and the salad recipe with us. You are welcome. And you can head to our website and just start cooking. So easy.